If you're a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, then you at some point have probably come across the question, who's your favorite JoJo? Now, most of the answers you'll hear will be characters like Jotaro, Giorno, Jolene, or Joseph, but rarely do you ever hear Johnathan. But what's not to like about Johnathan? He's an honorable, kind-hearted, and courageous guy. He's gifted and strong, yet very humble. Hell, he's even a dog person. And let's not forget those dashing good looks and style, am I right? But that's just the beginning. To quote Speedwagon, he's not just looks and clothes, but a real, honest-to-God gentleman. I like it. Now, I don't think that Johnathan is unliked, per se. To be fair, Johnathan has some pretty tough competition. All of the JoJos have some sort of standout quality that puts them above the others in the eyes of some people. An example would be Joseph's witty humor or Jotaro's overwhelming confidence. But what is Johnathan's standout quality? And why doesn't it produce the same sort of impact amongst the JoJo fandom? The way I see it is that one of Johnathan's most standout qualities is his incredible empathy. Now, empathy alone is not my argument for why you should give Johnathan a second chance. And it's not even because he continues to show that same empathy toward those whom the rest of the audience has given up on. To be honest, if we're comparing that trait to some of the others that I've mentioned, it's just plain boring. Unfortunately, empathy doesn't pack the same kind of emotional punch as some of the other qualities that we see in JoJo. Empathy doesn't defeat the villain or give you a good laugh. Empathy doesn't solve the mystery or make you cling to the edges of your seat. But what empathy does do is something that I believe in the long term is even more important than all of the other standout traits. And that is to provide hope, inspiration, and guidance to both its characters and its audience. Johnathan's outlook and actions provide hope that this cycle of pain, violence, and disdain can one day be broken. And it inspires and guides his characters to try and work towards that same change. By the end of Johnathan's lifetime, we see that his incredible empathy has earned him true and loyal friends who would continue to help, teach, and inspire the Joestars for many future generations. Hell, even Dio, a man who could be considered the true embodiment of evil, was not excluded from Johnathan's fierce commitment to empathy and grace. And while in the end Johnathan wasn't able to sway Dio, he still had the courage to try, and that means something. Johnathan always strove to see the best in people, and through all of the tragedies that Johnathan had suffered, he never wavered, even earning Dio's respect in the final analysis, something that no other Joestar has been able to do on the same level, or really has ever cared to do in the first place. Johnathan serves as a sort of North Star, or lighthouse, to the Joestar lineage, guiding them along the correct path on the darkest of nights, and never leading them astray. As the progenitor of this lineage of Joestars, Johnathan's soul has become an intrinsic part of the Joestar moral code, no matter how rough around the edges some of the Joestars may seem, and serves as the backbone and guiding force for every action that they take. Johnathan is so intrinsically tied to the essence of what it means to be a Joestar that I couldn't imagine this narrative ever progressing the way that it has without him as the makeshift all-father to this series. Johnathan, through his actions, has set the gold standard for what it truly means to be a Joestar. Because of the framework that Johnathan laid for every future Joestar and the worldview that has been instilled in them, whether they realize it or not, their thoughts and actions are always being guided from that underlying presupposition towards the highest good, pointing them ever closer to that North Star. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I believe Johnathan Joestar is underrated.